everybody, welcome to this new video and thank you very much for tuning in. Today I am going to show you how to make a set of jewelry, and which is going to be this nice bracelet here. There you go. So these are cute little sodalite pearls or beads and 18 gauge copper wire in different shapes with a very cute closure here. And so a bracelet like this one. Oh, and you can change size also. As you can see, there's two sizes available, a larger one and a slightly smaller one. And these go with these earrings, also sodalite earrings. Like we have these tiny little cute beads. This one is particularly beautiful actually. And 80 gauge wire. And that's all you actually need. I'm going to make these with rose quartz. Like what you do need, apart from the wire of course, is 5 beads of like this size, kind of. I will give the size, I'll give it through in a minute too, like small ones, but actually it doesn't matter. You can pick whatever size you want to and adapt the bracelet accordingly. For the earrings it doesn't really matter what size these are. And a couple of pliers you can see here, or pliers actually I think the word is. And my 18 gauge wire. And if you have all these tools available, then we can go get started. Okay, so I put my focus on autofocus and I hope it plays along, because yeah, well, we will see. So the first thing we are going to do, we will work on these earrings. We make earrings like these. And then we need 2 beads, and let me put the other ones away for the moment too. And we need the 18 gauge wire. I would not recommend for the earrings to use a thicker wire, because apparently, as we are also going to make the ear hooks, these still have to somehow fit through the small hole most people have in their ears already, and usually the 18 gauge wire still is not large, or not too large for that. Cut it clean. We take a bead, thread it on, and whoops, take a round nose pliers is the word, and just grab the end like this, like so. I'm not sure the autofocus was a good idea, but I will try for this video. Grab it and just turn around so you have this nice small loop. This is what we want to have. Then you tilt or bend the wire back a bit. So what you have is this little hook here. Come on, autofocus. Little hook. So this hook is the end, like down right here. This is what we just formed, as you can see, because now we have this is the bead, so it won't come off again. Still pliers, and now it doesn't really matter. We're now going to bend this tiny loopy thing here. This, and you can make it bigger or smaller, it doesn't really matter. I decided for a diameter that is half the diameter of my round nose pliers. So what I will do, I will place my round nose pliers halfway onto the wire. I will leave a tiny little bit of space that is about the size of the thickness of the wire. I hope this makes sense, because what I'm going to do now, I hold it, wrap around, hold it, wrap all the way here to the front.
There you go. Wrap to the front.
And now to the front means I lay the...
I put the wire into that gap that formed.
And around one time. And that's all I need.
Easy. I don't want any more
fuzz. Take the pliers out. Cut like really close, or like there.
That's good.
Oops. Put the wire away. Put the pliers in again, because now it's all, as you can see, it's all very
like still very wonky and not straight, and it doesn't look good. So we're going to
make it nice and beautiful by putting the pliers in again, bending the loop back a bit.
So this is what we have now.
Picking another set of pliers,
In this case, flat nose pliers. I keep saying pliers, I'm really sorry.
I know it's pliers, but pliers is what comes out.
I'm German living in the Netherlands, so maybe my accent shows, and maybe this is why I cannot say pliers properly.
Grab the loop I just formed and grab the other loop with another set of pliers and just make sure that I bend those straight so they are not wonky and strangely formed
anymore. So now you should be able to see it's a lot straighter, a lot more straight. And we have
our first
cute little earring.
Not complete yet, but what we need now, let me show you,
is the hook. So I'm also going to form the hook out of my 18 gauge wire. And I need a hook like this one and a jump ring.
So this is what I'm going to do next. As for the jump ring, again, any size is possible. Don't stress yourselves out trying to find a suitable size. What I do, I go with my
same pliers, round nose pliers, these ones. Go with these and form a jump ring here at the very root or bottom or whatever you call it of the round nose pliers.
So what I do, I grab the end of the wire, 18 gauge, which is still on my spool, by the way. I grab it like so, turn it around the base
like so. There you go. So the ends
overlap a bit.
Take my nice pliers, I don't know the name of.
Cut the jump ring right next to where the
beginning is.
No, I didn't do it properly. No, I didn't. There you go.
So you get this wonky, tiny little thingy again. It doesn't really look very attractive, but flat nose pliers. Ugh. And I will flatten out the ring a bit.
Probably needs some adjustment, but then we already have our jump ring.
There you go. So this is what we want to have. Jump ring.
Jump ring. And now we go for the hook. For the hook, I start out again with such a tiny little loop. So grab the end, turn, and I do not turn it back now. Like I keep
this tiny little loop thingy. There you go.
And now I need to bend, let me show you.
I need to bend this curve here, this one.
And in order to do so, I need a certain distance, like from the loop we just made, to this curve. And I don't calculate that, or so you can go by just eyeballing it, that would be fine of course. But what I do, I take my flat nose pliers and hold it right here.
So like that. Like
Can't go any further. And then I take my round nose pliers and hold that right next to them, to the flat nose pliers.
so I have a nice distance that will, for all
Ear hooks I will ever make, always be the same. So once we got that, I'll wrap around
the
round nose pliers. Cut somewhere here, it doesn't really matter. Don't cut it like here or so, but like a tiny bit away. Take the pliers out, cut, and now I will grab the end here,
like
so, and bend it like that.
Also, I will not show that in the
Video, but because this is the point, is because it's cut, it's very sharp. So before you sell your jewelry, make sure you grind this nice and soft and round, and kind of grind off the edges. So straighten it out a bit, and I have my ear hook.
So now I have ear hook. There you go.
And Jumpring
and bead. Nice, nice, nice.
And now I will put it all together by holding the Jumpring,
open it like so,
put on
the ear hook first,
put on
the bead,
close the Jumpring, safe and secure.
Right, so this is our first one. We need two, of course, one for the left and one for the right.
But this is how we are going to make this. I'll come back after I made the second one.
So here we go.
I finished the second one.
And now we have a nice, beautiful, cute little pair
of rose quartz earrings, all made out of
one sort of
copper wire only and tiny little beads.
So on the next step is the bracelet. When you look at this bracelet, you can see it consists of quite a few parts, which is like 20 of these little S-shaped thingies, and we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 jump rings. This one is totally optional, you don't have to do this, and I only do this like on all my bracelets and handmade necklaces and stuff like that. So this is kind of my logo, whoever thingy. So, and we have this closure. And what we are going to do next, this closure is very similar to the earring hooks we just made. So we are going to make a closure first, and then we're going to make the 4, 5, 6, 7 jump rings, and after the jump rings we will make 20 of these S's, so to speak. So, but first we're going to do the closure. So grab our round nose pliers, grab the end, turn it around, loop. Then we need our flat nose pliers, or I need this one, like
for the distance to this tiny loop we just made. I'll just grab it like that. This is only for distance. Put the round nose pliers next to it. Now I know where to make this larger loop. And made it the wrong way around. As you can see, you should actually bend it into the opposite direction, but we can fix this, that's no problem. Cut somewhere around here if you need to measure it, like half the top part of your finger or something. This is really eyeballing. And I want this leg to be longer than the other one anyway. And before I do anything else right now, because I made a small mistake, I will grab, oops, yeah, let me grab my, the first loop I made and just turn it around. So this actually stresses the copper quite a lot, but it won't break or anything. And because we are not going to do anything else with this part of the closure, it doesn't matter if there's a little bit tension in all the small grid patterned atom structure. Anyway, doesn't matter. Right, so what we have now, our standard small loop, then we've got the larger one here. Hope I'm still sharp. And now I am just going to grab this and here and bend it that way, like into the opposite direction to the first loop I made. And yes, I want this to be slightly longer than the other one. It doesn't have to be that long. Actually, this one is it's very long actually. I can shorten it a bit later if I want to. But just like so, in this bracelet I have them and the same height. This is perfectly fine also. I just like it better if one is longer and the other one is shorter. So if you want a longer and shorter one, you can go with something like this. So this is our closure. Next we had 7 jump rings, and the jump rings we made before in this video also. What we did was making jump rings for the earrings. In case you don't remember, but I think you will. So these ones, we make just the same way we made these jump rings. We are going to make 7 more for the bracelet also. I'll show you one more time. So grab the end of the wire, turn like so, cut the end, oops, flatten it out with whatever tool. I use my flat nose pliers for this. And this is jump ring number 1. It's easy, simple, quick jump ring. 6 more of those. Here we go. 7 tiny jump rings. And next we're actually not going to make the S's first, because I totally forgot. I still have to make the beads. And as you can see, every single bead is on a piece of wire, and the ends of that wire are looped with these tiny loops we have made several times by now. So what we're actually going to do first, we are going to make our beads, and then we are going to make the S's. So I grab the end of my wire and my round nose pliers. Grab the end, make a tiny loop. Let the pliers in the eye, leave them in there. And bend the wire back a bit so I get this shape. I want this. There you go.
This is the
bottom end or upper end, doesn't matter, of one of my beads. Just shape the loop a bit more.
grab my first loop
from the coil and cut the wires somewhere here,
so I have enough space
or enough wire left to make another one of these loops. So this one is going to be a bit tricky to hold, so I will hold the loop I just made with my flat nose pliers and make a second loop like so. Here also bend the wire back a bit, and now I have a nice like double loop piece of wire with a bead in between. This is what I'm going for. That's what I want. And I need 3 of these.
3 of these constructions or designs. Right, hope you can see it like that.
So I will make the other 2.
So these are our little beads with double looped ends, or I don't know how to call it. So we have these 3.
And I already made my I made this one too. And now, finally, we are going to bend or to make or whatever these little S's
and S's. And they are actually very, very simple to make, not difficult at all. What makes them a bit tricky to do is that they are so small and a bit difficult to grab, but you'll be fine, don't worry. So we need 20 of those. I will show you the first 2. And you can do the rest alone. I'm sure it's no rocket science, really. It's just do it. So again, end of the wire still on coil, round nose pliers, and our first, and now it is nearly boring because we've done it so often already, first tiny loop. There you go. We will grab this loop by its throat. I just call it throat. I don't think there is an official term, but this is where I will grab my my first loop. Like here at the very end of my round nose pliers. And I will wrap this part I still have on coil. I will wrap this around this part of the round nose pliers, like so, and wrap the one part, or the part that's still on coil, around, and you end up with this. Easy peasy. Pliers, cut, and what you get is a very ugly, a very ugly one that doesn't really look very right. So what we still need to do, we flatten it out. So we grab our flat nose pliers, like bite it. If we do that, the one end still doesn't seem to be closed, but that's fine because we can still do that manually. Also with whatever pliers at this moment. I recommend these or any flat nose pliers actually, just because you can grab it much better. Adjust the end that before wasn't closed properly, and there you go. A little 8. And of those we need 20. 10 for each side. Like 20 on this side, and 10 on this side, and 10 on this side. So all in all we need 20. And this was the first one already. Let's make the second one. Let's do it together. So hold the end against my finger, like so.
Round nose pliers, grab the end, make our tiny loop number 1.
That then looks like this, very cute and small, hopefully sharp also.
Grab that one like so
with the round nose pliers
and wrap the end of the wire that's still on coil.
From your point of view right now,
It should be like to the bottom and around the plier. Oopsie. There you go. So I turned and twisted the wire while I was, or my hands actually, not the wire, because it's easier to do. You will find a way that that suits you best. Don't worry. It looks complicated, but it really isn't. All you need to do is to actually do it. Cut the wire off.
And then again we have this ugly 8 that doesn't really
look very nice and cute. So first thing, flat nose pliers, flatten it out. And second step, oops, the part that is still a bit open, like the part we just wound around the pliers,
bite it close. And number 2.
And yes, I'm going to make another 18. And then I will, we are already at the point where we can assemble
all these things.
Okay, so I made 20 of these little 8s. And now what we are going to start with, we are going to connect the beads with the jump rings. And in order to,
they are connected here. As you can see, we have like jump ring, bead, jump ring, bead, jump ring, bead, jump ring.
And this is, so we're going to start with the jump ring and end with the jump ring. So we take our first jump ring
with our, or any flat nose, I use these actually, flat nose pliers.
Open
the jump ring like so. There you go.
Take the first bead, put it on, close the jump ring so it's nice and tight. Very good. Et voila. Second jump ring. Open it. Take the bead we just put the jump ring on and put the other end without jump ring on this new jump ring. Take a second bead, also put it on the jump ring, close it properly, close it properly. Need some adjustments, make some adjustments, like so. And then we take our next jump ring,
open it,
put the jump
ring free side of the last bead we just
put the others on onto this jump ring, like so. Put the last bead on also, close the jump ring nicely, and then we pick our last jump ring for this construction.
Open it. I now open it to the other side. Doesn't really matter
how you open it, as long as you know, just open it, close, and there we go.
This segment is what you end up with. And we're going to need this in a moment.
What I'm going to do next is this part
of the chain. Like we take 10 of our little 8s, fix it here to one of the jump rings. We just put the beads on and put the closure plus jump ring plus little tiny dangling thing, or if you don't have one, doesn't matter, onto the other one.
Tricky. Not tricky, simple, but you know, fuddly. Fiddly? You will see. So
we take our first 8, like so. Hold it. You can also hold it with pliers or pliers, but I prefer holding it by hand. Then grab the, you hold it such, I didn't explain. You hold it such that the left loop is open to the downside, like the opening of the left loop shows down, and the opening of the right loop shows up. I hope this makes sense. And we are going to open this side, always the one with the opening to the upward direction. And open it just like you opened your Jumpring before, just this piece is a bit more like small and more difficult to hold, and maybe your hands are sweaty and it's also difficult, but keep on trying, you'll be fine. So we pick another 8 and we mount, also hold it such that the opening of the left tiny little loop shows down and the opening of the right shows up. And holding it like this, we thread it on or hook it into the one we just opened. We close the one we just opened, just simply, you know, we don't want it to come over again. And now we have such a construction with these two here. And now we hold this part. The opening shows like to the top. Hope you can see that right. We open this again, take another 8, hold it such that the opening of the left loop shows down and the opening of the right loop shows up. Put it onto here. Close the loop properly. You may have to squeeze it a bit. And there you go. 1, 2, 3. Pick the next one. Opening to the top. It's actually quite important that you always load the 8s the same way. Otherwise the chain will have a twist in it and doesn't. It looks more regular if you load the 8s all the same way. Loading them the same way, one more time, means the opening of the left loop to the bottom and the opening of the right loop to the top. Grab it, load it, close, adjust. Oh, in this case it's not even necessary, I think. Yeah, a bit. And that's it. And you go like this with the first 10 little 8s we just made. When you're done, this is 10 8s all connected right now, and I still have my Jumpring. And the Jumpring, very simply, I will just attach it to, and doesn't matter to what end of the little chain I just made. So I am going to open it, just as we already know how to do that, hopefully, if I explained it well. Load on the one of the and 8s, so to speak. Close the Jumpring, and then we have like our chain with Jumpring construction, and this we are going to put onto one of the Jumprings
of this segment. Close. And this is like about 50%, so we're halfway done with our bracelet. Look at this, not too difficult, is it? So now we are going to make the other side, and because we have a bracelet that can be adjusted to 2 sizes, we will need 2 jump rings in here, and so we are not going to make like 1 chain and 1 jump ring at the end, but we're going to make 1 chain and 2 jump rings. And no difficulty here at all. What we are going to do, we are not going to connect 10 eighths, but only 8. We connect 8 eighths, insert a jump ring, insert the last 2 eighths, connect the last jump ring, and then we're already done and can do the closure. So here we go. We connected 8 little 8s segments, put a jump ring on, connected the last 2, put another jump ring on, and there we go. Now we can put this part onto the other side of the bracelet, or of the 3 beads of the bead segment. Voila! There you go. This is what you have right now, and we are nearly done. All we need to do now, we pick the end with the 1 jump ring only, not with the 2, but with the 1. Open the jump ring. Put the closure on with the shorter side, not with the longer one, but with the shorter one. And if you have something else you want to put on there, I want to put on this one, but if you don't have anything else, doesn't matter. So close this, very good, very tight, because there's a lot that can come off if you don't close it tightly enough. And guys, this is our bracelet. This is our rose quartz bracelet we just made. This is what it looks like. To me, the larger one, for me, like the larger size you can adjust the bracelet to for me is a little bit too large, because I can put my hand through without opening the bracelet. But no problem at all. I can open it on camera, which is not easy. And put it into the second one. There you go. 2 sizes. Neat, huh? It's not difficult at all. Now it's nice and tight. It won't come off. It can come off if it breaks. I don't know, why would it break? Because I do something stupid with it. But like this, it won't. And this nice bracelet in combination with these cute little earrings, I think are really, really cute. They are really beautiful. Those are going to be oxidized, of course, because I like oxidizing. It gives it this, gives the copper that vintage touch I like so very much. And yes, of course I made a few more already, so this one will be in there also. This little bowl is going to be for oxidizing. And I hope you had fun watching. Thank you very much for tuning in. I hope you learned something new and can now easily and quickly make your own bracelets and earrings and sell them or give them to your friends as a gift, or whatever, wear them yourself. I'm sure they will look beautiful on you. Have a nice day,
and bye bye.